All right, good day, everyone, and we are live. Very excited today for another Hump Day with Bix Weir. V will be joining us shortly, but we had a lot to talk about today, so we wanted to go ahead and get the show started. For our listeners, thank you for your patience as we got started. But Bix, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm trying to keep up with all the action out there. It's just nonstop. The battles between the good guys and bad guys are coming out and into the open. So I'm real excited about that.
It is. It's a very exciting time. I think when you look at whether it's the things that are happening in DC, whether it's the things that are happening in Hollywood, there are definitely some signs out there, Bix, that the good guys are winning. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think they've already won, but they are definitely winning with the the announcement of charges against Manafort and Papadopoulos and all that. What it is doing is exposing a huge plot behind the scenes that was put together long before Trump got into office with the Clintons and Obamas and the FBI and CIA leadership. And what they were trying to do, what is coming clear now is that Manafort was placed there as a plant. And Trump didn't know it, but Manafort was already under investigation with his Russian ties. Papadopoulos was the same. They were already under investigation. And then you got Manafort being put in charge of Trump's campaign for a brief bit. And a guy, an admiral in the NSA, director of the NSA, this guy Rogers, went to Trump and said, hey, this is before he got into office. This guy Manafort is a plant. They're trying to foment some kind of Russian conspiracy so that if you get elected, you're going to get kicked out of office. You got to shut this down. So Trump knew the whole time what was going on between Manafort and Papadopoulos, and Manafort actually worked for the Podesta Group before he went to Trump. So it's all coming unraveled. If you look at the indictment, in it says it talks about two companies, Company A and Company B. They refuse to say who those companies are, but it is the Podesta Group. Knee deep in it is Tony Podesta and John Podesta. Tony Podesta stepped down as the head of Podesta Group already. So there's the battle to the Russia conspiracy with Trump is getting unraveled, and it is being shown that he had spies within his ranks. And these were all placed there by the deep state and the Clinton Clinton campaign and the DNC, and it's all unraveling now, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it is great stuff. It's great stuff with Tony Podesta. I really, it's great moves, but I think it's also low-lying fruit. I'm really hoping that we're going to see the entire Clinton Foundation exposed.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they were deeply involved. So right now there's all kinds of investigations going on, not just the what is special counsel investigation, which is complete bullshit. A bunch of Democrats investigating the Russian ties, but it is all a plant, and it is unraveling in everywhere you look. There's new stuff coming out. The Tony Podesta stuff, that was an untouchable. Tony Podesta was untouchable, and now he's being touched. And that goes into his connections with, obviously, his brother and the Ukrainian ties and the plot to overthrow Trump, using people within the CIA and the NSA and all these heads of state who knew about the Manafort investigation long before Manafort went to work for Trump. And that's the odd thing, is that these Manafort starting to work for Trump should have been on the FBI. The FBI should have announced that, hey, this guy is not. They're legally required to tell, if they get involved in politics and they're being investigated, they're legally required to tell Trump that Manafort is being investigated for his Russia ties. And then Trump found it out from this admiral in the NSA, and then that's when he fired Manafort. So yeah, it's all interconnected. And when the Podestas go down, there goes the pedophilia ring, there goes the Clinton charitable fund. There goes Hillary Clinton. It's just crazy. It's all being knocked down right now, and I love it. I love seeing it.
So why in particular, why do you think that Mueller, what's in this for Mueller? So let's say, let's play.
He's in the middle of it. He has.
Why? Go ahead.
He likes pizza.
Hi, V. Yes, he loves pizza. Absolutely. He's part of that Pizzagate stuff too. So they're in trouble, right? They either have to get Trump out or they're going to jail, and then or they'll be suicided. So he had to take control of that, and then he got all his Democratic lawyers behind him working with him, and they come out with this dossier, which he has no other choice but to expose the Podesta group as being the boss of Manafort. Which is, I mean, it is just so crazy what's going on. And
they're eating themselves. So that means, what does that do to I think it was David Seaman who called Joe Podesta Count Chocula. I think it's perfect. It looks like Count Chocula. So what's going to happen to Count Chocula and Frankenberry, a.k.a. John Podesta and Fat Tony? Do you think they will turn on their cohorts?
No. There's no need for them. They've already arrested 4,000 pedophiles who have turned state's evidence. Pedophiles love to blab when they're in trouble. So yes, right. Everybody who is involved with that is going down. The question is, when was Trump going to pull the plug? That's always my question. And it gets back to when Trump said, it's the calm before the storm, and this is the storm. They're going to drain the swamp. They're going to take out the Podestas. They're going to take out the Clinton Foundation. They're going to take out – there was some senior congressmen who resigned or announced their retirement the other day, like real senior guys. These guys are involved. I heard it's a third of Congress will be taken out. It's huge what's going on, and it's starting to be seen by the public. But it was definitely a plot that was set up long before Trump got there. They were already investigating Manafort for his Russian ties. They placed Manafort in the position, the deep state placed Manafort in the position of Trump's campaign manager, along with Papadopoulos, he's the guy who set up the interview with Natalia Vidinsky, whatever her name is, the Russian operative, who also worked for that company that did the dossier on Trump, the G whatever it was called. What's that company called?
Confusion.
Yeah.
POS.
Yeah. So
not Fusion GPS. I like to call it Confusion
GPS. Right.
POS, as in piece of what. But anyway,
but she was connected to that company. And so it was Papadopoulos working for Manafort, who was working for the deep state, to basically set up Trump to be torn down by a massive Russian conspiracy. That was the whole idea, and now it's unraveling and falling apart because Manafort worked for the Podesta group, and Natalia worked for the Fusion GPS people. So it's all coming apart. It's a lot like the business coup of 1933. You guys remember that story? General Smedley Butler was approached by these huge business tycoons wanting to overthrow Roosevelt. And basically he went to Roosevelt and said, "Oh my God, you would not believe this, but I've been approached by these people who are trying to overthrow you." And that's when the confiscation of gold happened. All that stuff went down in 1933. So yes, it is absolutely a modern day attempt at a coup of the replacement of a sitting president. And this is treasonous offense. These people will be hanged for their crimes.
Yes, severely, man. Severely hanged for their crimes, without a doubt.
So I'm excited about the not the Mueller investigation. That's ridiculous. But everything else that is springing from it, and it's even coming out in the public. And Tony Podesta sent 100 letters out to news media, threatened lawsuits if they reported anything about his company and its link to Manafort and the investigation.
Too late, Fat Tony. Too late.
Fox News. It was Tucker Carlson said, "We got this letter. Said Tony Podesta is going to sue us about telling you this," and he went into exactly what I was talking about. The the plot to overthrow President Trump. So yeah, this is treasonous offenses. These people are going to get suicided or they'll probably suicide themselves and go to the Kinley Island. Or actually, I think the Kinley Island is actually the Jeffrey Epstein Island now.
It probably is. I mean, Kevin Spacey's is going to go over there.
Well, remember, Kevin Spacey was on the manifest of the airplane. Yeah, Epstein's Lolita Express, they called it, that would fly, big names from Hollywood and from New York and Washington to the pedophile island that Epstein owned. Now, Clinton's name was on it, I think, over 20 times. Bill Clinton. Hillary's name was on it over 10 times. And then I started looking at the other people that were on it. Chris Tucker, the actor, is another one that'll come out soon. Alan Dershowitz.
No, not Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker. Alan Dershowitz. He went to pedophile island. Prince Andrew.
Oh, Prince Andrew was caught. He was facing charges because he went to the pedophile island.
Exactly. So all this stuff, and we were wondering, when's this going to break down? When's this going to break down? With the Podestas on the run, all the pedophile ring stuff coming out. Right now, I heard there's 6 investigations into Harvey Weinstein by 6 different police departments, and basically it's LAPD, Beverly Hills PD, NYPD.
Yep.
FBI, Scotland Yard is looking into it.
Jeez.
So what it does by getting all these different agencies looking at it,
he's effed.
He's screwed because he can't hide it. He can't hide it. Like if it was just the FBI, we know how criminal that organization is, but it's all these people looking at it.
Wow.
So you take him and this guy, James Toback, another director who's under investigation. There's some other guy, a fashion designer who's under investigation. It's all breaking down. And Corey Feldman coming out saying, I got 6 names. And what's her face? The ex-Fox News lady.
Who's Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, Megyn Kelly. So Megyn Kelly interviews Corey Feldman, and she's like, well, give us some names. Give us some names. And he says, I can't give you names. I'm trying to raise money to get legal protection and make a movie about it. But he says him and his buddy Corey Haim, the other guy, were knee deep in this pedophilia when they were kid actors. And Megyn Kelly's like, come on, tell us. 10 to 1, Megyn Kelly's on that list in some fashion. I mean, everybody in Hollywood was in on this, and it was they say, oh, it was an open secret, but they don't tell you how many people were involved.
Yeah.
And this Corey Feldman thing, he's already outed people, and it's the Hollywood elite have blocked him for years. But he says he can only expose 6 names, but he knows over 100 people involved because he only got abused by these 6 people. So he's saying, okay, I'm only going to give, turn over state's evidence against the 6 people who molested me when I was a young child actor, who are still, pretty big in the Hollywood scene.
Right.
But he says, but there's so many other kids who can name so many other people. And it is all breaking down. And then to top it all off, we got Bush Sr. squeezing people during a photo op.
Did he grab her by the what?
Yeah, well, they got it on film, so they can't. There's nothing he can do about it.
He actually grabbed her on film?
Yeah, they got film of him like grabbing her ass or something like that in his wheelchair. Now this guy is 93 years old. He is one of the worst offenders.
He's one of the worst human beings on the planet. Reading my lips, 1,000 points of light.
That's the insanity of the Bush family going back to Harriman brothers, Brown brothers Harriman, and Grandpa Bush, who went in front of Congress because he funded the Nazis. I mean, these people are just horrific. And this goes back also to Boys Town, the Franklin cover-up, the pedophile at the Boys Town orphanage. And this was 1989 as a front page story that Bush Sr. was shipping little boys into the White House and having, sex parties with them. And it's just, and then Obama comes out and makes a Boys Town silver coin Did you ever see that? The pedo coin, I called it.
I heard about it.
Oh my God. I mean, this stuff is, these literally, had Clinton won, they would have taken over the entire country and destroyed it. And, gone off into their little pedophile islands, wherever they went to go out. Trump has literally saved the country just by being there and being the front man for all these, the good guys, as I call them, behind the scenes, are the guys that are really doing the work. Trump was hired literally to save the country as a bull in a china shop. They tried to get Ron Paul in there, but he was too old and couldn't do it by the time when he ran in like what did he run in the 90s and then in the 2000s. I mean, by the end, he just didn't have that edge that he had when he was a lot younger. But Trump is the only guy that could have done this, because the deep state's coming after you on every angle.
Sure.
And Trump is making a gigantic sacrifice just by being the president and just by being the guy in charge when all these secrets are coming out.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, the guy doesn't need this. Okay, he's a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need this.
No.
And the fact that he's donating his entire salary to charity. So,
well, that means nothing.
I mean, that's great.
He's a multi-billionaire. The salary for the president isn't that much. It's what is it? $500,000?
No, it's like something like that. I think.
Well, you don't have to pay rent. You get free food. You get to travel.
He doesn't pay rent anyway, man.
That's true. He pays rent to himself.
That's what I want to start paying rent to myself.
I agree. So the exposure of the pedophiles, I think it's around 4,000 of the child traffickers have been arrested. These are the lower line people. Now remember, this has been going on for so long that if you look at the record of how many child traffickers were arrested under Obama or
like
Clinton,
hardly any.
None.
They were being they were being awarded.
Exactly. And Trump gets in there within the first 6 months. 4,000 are arrested, and now it's hitting the higher levels, and it's going to keep going up and up and up, and it will get to congressmen. It'll get to big names in Hollywood. Obviously, it's already started. Big names in New York City. I mean, you get Alan Dershowitz is going down. He was on that damn plane.
Dershowitz is the current. He's still a bigwig here in New York, man. That's what he's doing these days.
He's got an X on his back. I tell you,
yep.
It'll be announced. It'll be announced very soon that he's involved in some pedophilia ring. Same with. I mean, Prince Andrew was already. How much can the Queen cover up? This already came out a long time ago that he was a pedophile. So I guess it's legal in England. But having someone like the Scotland Yard investigating Weinstein, they all run in the same circles. So it'd be really interesting, as they find this stuff. And let's not forget that the NYPD has the Anthony Weiner file of 650,000 documents, including videotapes from Uma Abedin and Hillary Clinton, and basically a treasure trove of damning evidence of the things that the Clintons were involved in, which is, it goes everywhere from bribery to murder to sex rings to occult ritual sacrifice. It just crazy stuff, and it's all in those files. And that's kind of what they haven't released them. I heard that it's not only the NYPD that have them now, so at some point WikiLeaks will let this stuff out.
I mean, that's all exciting news, man. It truly is an exciting time to be alive. There's definitely a shakeup. I mean, it's the evidence is very, very clear. It's unreal.
And it's being literally, this stuff has been going on behind the scenes for a couple of years now, but now it's coming out into the open, and people's jaws are dropping. Another interesting thing, and I think we bet one Litecoin on it, but was the JFK documents, whether Trump would release them or not release them. And I said, I think you said he'd release them. I said he wouldn't. So he released some of them and held some back, and then he released all of them. But he has they've blacked out the names of living individuals.
Yep.
And there's really only one individual who's living who would be pertinent to this investigation.
George H.W. Bush.
Exactly. So I expect him to die within the next 180 days, and then his name will be exposed as the connections between Bush Sr. and the Kennedy assassination are just huge. I mean, a lot of them have already been exposed, and then you got the attempted assassination of Reagan.
Yeah,
by John Hinckley Jr., the son of John Hinckley Sr. of Hinckley Oil, a Bush family member practically, because Bush was running Zapata Oil. And the connections are unbelievable. And the interesting thing that I found out, in the JFK documents, is that there's so many potential avenues to take the conspiracy, and it also outlined just how both incompetent our Secret Service and CIA and all that is, and FBI, but also it shows in these documents that we had all kinds of plots to overthrow governments around the world, assassinate leaders. And it's nothing new, because people like John Perkins have already come out and said in Confessions of an Economic Hitman, they've already come out and said, yeah, we do that. Absolutely, we do it. We try to take the high ground with Russia, saying, oh my God, they're meddling in our elections. You don't think we meddle in their elections?
That's all we do. We're the biggest meddlers on planet Earth, man.
Exactly. It's the pot calling the kettle black. But it'll be really interesting how the JFK information is digested from here on out. It really shows how incompetent our FBI people are and how much they cover up and lie to the people about, which is not a good thing to have that kind of power, the power to basically classify anything you want, and you're a liar, and you're a criminal, and you do criminal acts. That's not a good thing. So I think the FBI and the CIA need to come, and the NSA, of course. All that needs to be revamped in the United States, because it's completely out of control. And luckily, there's some good people who are coming forward, in high places within these agencies, coming forward and saying, oh my God, everything is out of control in the United States, in the deep state within the United States. Yeah. And we gotta end this stuff fast.
Hey guys, don't forget those JFK files also exposed that the CIA knew that Hitler was living in Colombia and escaped Germany.
Well, there you have it. There's another one. I thought he was down in Paraguay or something. I thought he was way down.
He was in Argentina.
Tim Kennedy has a show on National Geographic. I believe it's called Hunting Hitler or something like that. I think this is coming up for the 3rd season. They're gonna expose it all, but you would not believe.
Did you say hunting or honey?
Hunting Hitler.
Oh, not. I was about to say, because I thought you said Tim Kennedy has a program on the History Channel called Honey Hitler. I'm like, Honey Hitler? What is that about?
Yeah, Hunting Hitler on National Geographic. So it's coming up on the 3rd season, so it'll be something to check out.
Oh, cool. Well, he's got his answer now.
Well, also, I think it's Argentina has all kinds of German cities there.
Dude, there's German towns. Well, you go into some place and just back in Deutschland.
Yeah, and they speaking German. Yeah.
Yes, sprechen Sie Deutsch.
And not to mention, look how close the bottom of South America is to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And all that exposure that's going on right now, they're hiring thousands and thousands of people to go to Antarctica. Everything from cooks to people, masseuses and dentists and things like that.
I'm going there myself as a masseuse.
Yeah, and everybody's Antarctica. There's nothing there. No. There's a whole lot they're finding there right now.
Yep.
New Swaziland or whatever that place is called, where the Germans set up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that stuff to be exposed. And I think it will be exposed as the deep state is taken out in Washington. I think more and more will be exposed about what's going on in Antarctica with all the pyramids they're finding down there and there's new technologies. I think it's awesome for mankind that we are but we first have to break away from the deep state, and that's kind of what's going on right now. Hopefully, we'll see a whole lot more congressmen announce their retirement. I forgot who the latest one was a real big one. He was like a head of the finance committee or something like that. Let me look. It is might have been the Ways and Means Committee. Jeb Hinserling, the House Financial Services Chairman, to retire in 2018. That's a big position, and he's not an old guy, so you got to wonder, why are these congressmen all announcing their retirement lately?
Yeah, that's pretty significant there, sir.
Yeah, that was announced yesterday, I think. And right when all the pedophilia stuff is coming out, so 10 to 1, his name is getting thrown around in those circles. Here. Let me find another one. There was quite a few just recently announced retirement.
Well, there was Jeff Flake, right? Wasn't it? Didn't Flake?
Yeah, Flake. Well, yeah, that's an obvious one because he's from Arizona, right? With
well, he's a flake.
Yeah, but he's part of that. John McCain has a child group. It's supposed to be a charity to help young children, but it's just a front for his pedophilia situation down there. So Flake and McCain were in on that, so that's why he's leaving. Tim Murphy, Pennsylvania congressman, announces his retirement. Just another one. Flake, Murphy. Yeah, they're dropping left and right. Yeah, very interesting times. You know, if they're announcing their retirement from Congress, they are being told, you are going down, my friend. You better get out while you can.
Yeah, exactly correct. Exactly correct. Wow.
But there'll be a lot more. I guarantee you. It's supposed to be a third. See, some of these guys also were what do they call it? Brownstone, where they get set up to get involved in a situation that that can be used to blackmail them later.
Yeah.
So some of these people, they can't do anything until they get that boogeyman off their shoulder. And they might not be all that bad of a person, but they were put into a situation where they just had no choice. And then over time, the power gets to them and the money, and they turn into a henchman and do what they're told.
Bix, what else is on your radar?
The cryptos are getting the alt cryptos are getting crushed, and Bitcoin is surging. So it's really interesting. This is Cliff High had talked about this for a while. He said there's going to be a sloshing of money back and forth from the alt currencies to Bitcoin, back to the alt currencies to Bitcoin over the next year. But ultimately, both will be rising massively. So if you're looking to get in the alt currencies right now, or alt companies, the tokens, those would be the investment. You want to buy low and sell high. That's the idea. And these alt companies that are real companies will be coming to market with their products over the next 6 months, 12 months. And it's just going to boom. And it's all in Cliff's data that 2018 is the mega year for the cryptos to break free. And yeah, he sees $10,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. So within 2 months, it's going to rise from 6,600 to 10,000, and then 18,000 by February. I mean,
I can't
that's
wait.
3 times as much.
I can't wait. I love it, man.
But he also has some of these mega moves. The mega moves would be, for example, Litecoin going from $50 to $1,000, and Veritasium going from $50 to match the price of Bitcoin. at some point, which is eight to be, right now is 6,000, and Vertasium's trading at $50.
It's a huge upside, man.
Unbelievable. And one of my favorites, Salt, is coming out with their product by the end of the year. They said by the end of the year. They keep telling me. By the end of the year, they're going to have a crypto-backed loans. So you can take your crypto and use it to, if you need cash, you can get cash to buy more cryptos. You can get cash to buy a house. You're using your cryptos as collateral on these loans. And one of the things that's kind of under the radar is they said that some of your SALT tokens can be used to pay off part of the interest rate. So you can pay down your interest with SALT tokens, but the SALT tokens are priced at retail, which is $25, which is about 10 times what the coins are trading for right now. So that's something that no one's really talked about, but you're going to have a lot of people who want crypto loans buying SALT tokens just so that they can get that huge decrease in the price they pay in interest. And the reason they can do that is that the smart contract philosophy and the way that you can use smart contracts, it sucks all the costs out of the normal banking loan type of stuff. There's no contract administrators. There's no legal team. There's no billing and collection and collateral and all that. It's all done with smart contracts, which takes people out, which is a huge cost position for the banks. It gets rid of the banking costs, basically. So that's how they can, offer such discounts with by using SALT tokens valued at 10 times. So say they come out with their product in December and you want to make your first loan payment, and part of that loan payment is principal and part is interest. You could take your SALT token and sell it for $25, whereas the tokens are trading for like $250 right now on the exchange. So yeah, it's a good thing that this is happening right now. It's going to be extremely a hot area because it is literally linking the old system with the new system, the old banking and loan system with a new type of loan that is collateral based. It's not credit based. You can use the money for anything you want, and the smart contract will basically perfect the collateral on the loan. So the banks love it because they don't have to worry about collections and mortgages and kicking people out of their house. They just, if you miss your payment, it's taken out of your collateral automatically by they call it an Oracle, is the software program that does that. So yeah, really exciting time as the world changes in 2018. These crypto companies are just going to explode.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I think it's the upside on this is tremendous. Tremendous, sir.
Tremendous. And I'm excited. And yeah, it's tough. Like a lot of the alt currencies are down like 60-70% from their ICOs and things like that.
Yeah.
And a lot are up too, but and some of these companies are just absolutely gems, and you can sort through. It's like what was it? Buffett's investing philosophy when he first started out, he was looking for cigar butts. That's how he described it. I look for in all the crap down there, there's these cigar butts that you can pick up and light and you'd have a cigar. But you buy them for nothing, and then you just sit and wait until something good happens that you can see down the line, but the rest of the world doesn't see. And that's kind of where we are on the altcoins and not necessarily the currencies, the cryptocurrencies, which are all doing fairly well. I think Litecoin's at like $55, and obviously Bitcoin is the number one guy. But the companies that are doing stuff, those are the ones that are going to be the cigar butts of the future.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Anything else, my man?
Nothing. Oh. Those of you who have bought the Road to Ruta analysis of The Economist magazine, The World in 2017, all that stuff is going to happen over the next 2 months. So if you have read my analysis of the tarot card, the World in 2017 tarot card, if you've read my analysis of that, you can compact it all into the next 2 months. that full analysis. And you can find it at the roadtoruta.com. It's right on the top of the website if you're interested in getting it. But it is absolutely happening now. And that's, Trump's on that, was it the second card of that? And I give a full analysis.
Judgment, it says.
It was what?
It says judgment.
Yeah.
The card that he said.
But the judgment card is an interesting card in tarot reading because it's not, laying judgment on him. It means using good judgment. So Trump is absolutely using good judgment by not, showing his cards at the beginning, and now it's all coming out because literally there was a plot against him being run out of the White House, Obama's White House, the State Department, the CIA, the FBI, and Trump has foiled their plans.
Yes, he has. He's been like the Teflon Don, one step ahead.
Yeah, and he's that bull in the china shop we needed to take our country back. So there'll be more.
I always thought it would be Obama, with his skinny wrists and chicken legs that's going to save us. But I guess I was wrong.
No, he had quite a few pizza parties that were catered.
I heard it was more hot dog parties than pizza.
Yeah, Comet Ping Pong was at the White House. I think it was 8 times when Obama was in there.
Wow.
Yep.
He must have been serving some quality hot dogs.
Yep.
Or maybe his wife Michael was serving him some quality hot dogs.
Yeah. I don't even want to go there.
With no condiments, just straight hot dog.
Oh, walnut flavored, right?
Oh, yuck!
Yeah,
you had to take it there.
You started it. Anyway, all this is unraveling, and the people who had plotted and planned to take down our nation are gonna be taken down, and they are being taken down right now. The arrest of Tony Podesta is looming, and that will open another can of worms as far as John Podesta, as far as the Clinton Foundation. So it'll be very interesting how Mueller will spin. Why isn't Tony Podesta in jail if you're going to put Manafort in jail?
Yeah, exactly.
And he didn't even name. He called it Company A and Company B, and wouldn't name the Podesta group. But everybody knows now.
That's what's up, man.
Crazy days, my friend. But they continue.
I love it.
It's very
exciting to be alive.
It's exciting. It is great news, and as all these things unfold, you're going to see at some point even silver will be cut free of the manipulation on the comics. Not today. I don't think. As the banks falter, silver will do better. But again, it's controlled by computers and derivatives out of the U.S. Treasury. So as long as he's clicking the mouse, Steve Mnuchin can click silver to 0 if he wants. So that's what we got to deal with. But we do have a new Fed chair coming in. Nobody knows who it is or why. I think Trump will put someone in who he can control, who has the best interests of the good guys in mind. Which might mean continued rigging for the next 4 years or whatever.
Right. Exactly. All right, my friend, that brings us to the end of the broadcast. Bix, why don't you plug your site and how people could follow you and your subscription services, my good man?
Sure. Roadtoruta.com is the website. You can subscribe for years. You can get a free subscription. On the top left, just put your email in and your name, and then you get emails all the time. Go to the website and check out the archives. Each section has an archive, and it goes back since 2000 when I started writing this stuff. So there's thousands of articles on silver, gold, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, the conspiracy between the good guys and the bad guys, lots of good stuff. Go check it out. And then don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Road to Ruta YouTube channel. That's where I post almost every day. It's really cool stuff. That's it.
And with that being said, I am the monetary maven of Monkey Mayhem. And the main man, the master of the flux capacitor himself, CJ, working the airwaves. And we are at roguemoney.net. Smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. With that being said, CJ, we are over and out. Take it away, my man.